This is Debra Cohen, and we're on Bandcamp live streaming, which is broadcast every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time right here on Bandcamp. So I hope that you are going to enjoy the show. I feel a sense of closure in my music from the past. Today I'm going to be sharing a couple of songs that I sang in a Boston rock and roll band in the 80s, a new wave band for those of you that are familiar with that genre. I notice on Twitter, for example, I still see posts for Joan Jett, which I opened for at the Rathskeller in Kenmore Square, Boston in the 80s. And also Deborah Harry, I remember her. She's still going strong, so kudos to you, Deborah. And here I am, actually have changed my person, my character. You know, we all have the ability to change if we want to, and for a long time I didn't. And so this is kind of like a behind the scenes story about these particular two songs. Boston Nights was written by my bandmate Michael Capsalis, and at the time he was going to school at Berkeley Music on Mass Ave where we lived. And so I'll kind of explain a little bit about this song and the way that anyway, such a long time ago. Anyway, and the second song, Dreamin, that I'll share today is one I wrote, and there's a story behind that song, which is really one of my biggest regrets. So stay tuned as we get right into it. And if you're in the Bandcamp chat live, if you have any questions as we go along, I would love for you to pose a question, pose a comment. At least tell me where you're listening from. And know that as an indie artist, we all depend on you to share, repost, subscribe, like, all those things that we need so that we can get out there in the big world of live streaming. Let me introduce this first song, Boston Nights. I just mentioned it. And I am singing in a band. I think there's some photographs in this video, so you'll see the way that I was back then in the early 80s. So let us begin.
Tell me face to face, I should have known better. I should have put you in your place. I ran to the corner phone. I tried to get you most of the night. I just can't stand to be alone, but baby, when we're together, all we do is fight. I'm giving you just one more chance. I hope that we can see it through. Don't give me any song or dance, so baby, it'll be the end of you. These Boston nights, they seem so cold. Stranded out on the open road. These Boston nights, they seem so cold. They keep me hanging like a
And that was Boston Nights by Debra Cohen. And you can still get that song on Bandcamp or stream it on Spotify. So this was the first song that our band had on the radio, WBCN, back in 1982, I believe it was, when the DJ was Mark Parento. And we went to many wild parties of his, and I think I was freaked out one time. We lived at apartment 409 Mass Ave, and we were coming through the turnstile at the front of the apartment building. It was multi-levels, and we were going out. Michael and I were going out as the band The Cars was coming in, and I'm like, oh my God. We were in the turnstile, and I'm looking at them, and I'm trying to be real cool, because I've got a band, and I can't act like a groupie. I love The Cars. I guess you're just what I needed. And I thought, oh my God, I'm rubbing elbows with The Cars. Woohoo, at the party. This is so cool. Anyway, and we also opened up for Joan Jett at the Rat. And I wish I had taken pictures of her. I mean, I was just too full of myself. And by the time I got up on the stage, I was like half in the bag, that just kind of went with the turf. And she made it. Kudos to you, Joan Jett. She's still going strong. I hear she lives in Long Island, and she's got quite a neighborhood following. I wish I lived in Long Island. Anyway. So that was Boston Nights, and if you want to just reminisce, or if you still listen to 80s music, and if you want to add that to your playlist, that would be so cool. Thank you, Michael Capsalis, for letting me share this song live. Now, the next song that I wrote is called Dreamin', and that's also available on my CD 80s, which you can find on Bandcamp Music or anywhere digital music is sold. You can go to my website, unitedmasters.com/Deborah, Debra dash Cohen, Cohen dash music. Now, this is an interesting, sad story about this song, Dreamin'. I wrote this when I was dreaming. I was 22, looking for Mr. Right, my boyfriend. And after dating a loser. Anyway, so Dreamin'. Yeah. Okay. So I was married to Michael. I got married at 28. I waited that long because I thought I needed to figure out who I was before I got married. And actually at 28, I didn't know who I was. I was still in a rock band, and we packed our rock and roll bags and moved to New Hampshire, bought a piece of land, and built the dream house on 19 acres of land in Bristol, New Hampshire. But I was so insecure and really didn't know what I had in that love. It was sad. But anyway, while we were together, Michael and I, I'm going to make a public apology here. Michael, I'm sorry that I ever did this. The day you got the phone call from Hanuman Das in New York, he was a recording engineer in New York, and they apparently were talking about the band In Excess, which was a big band back in the 80s. In Excess contacted Michael for permission to record this song that I wrote, Dreamin'. And Michael asked me if it would be okay if we released Dreamin' to In Excess. And I said, yeah, as long as I get credit for it. You can almost hear the tone coming out of me. I was such a rebellious woman. Rock and roll. And Michael said no, that he wanted some credit for the contact, and if I had been there as who I am now, I would have said, sure, I don't care. We're married. So it goes into the same bank. It's great. But what did I say? By this time, I'm like in my early 30s. I said, hey, dude, my husband, Michael, if you don't give me credit for this song, I'm not releasing the permission. And he said, well, then it won't go anywhere then. Thinking that would kind of prompt me to change my mind. I didn't change my mind. I said, I wrote this song. I want credit for it, full credit. And so the song went nowhere. So big mistake that I made. I really apologize to Michael for being so full of myself. But actually, I was so insecure that it was my way of proving that I had some worth by insisting that I be full credit for that song on In Excess's album. And it never went anywhere. So that is probably one of my biggest life regrets. So let me share the song that In Excess wanted to record, and it never went anywhere because of my pride, my ego, and all those things that have since been corrected. And that was Dreamin, the story about Dreamin with the band In Excess, Hahnemann Das in New York, and Michael Capsalis. Those were the days, the band days, the days that I lived for and enjoyed tremendously. But I was a train wreck inside and had the mistaken idea that if I married somebody that I would be a complete person. How many of you think that way? Usually women do. But through my mistakes, I have learned that you need to be a complete person before you enter into a marriage. You complement each other. You don't depend on each other for your being. That's called codependency. And that's how I went into that relationship. And that's why it failed. One of the reasons. So let bygones be bygones and continue on with the music. And I decided for a while to work for the post office and became a postmaster. And still was not happy. I thought maybe the job would bring me joy, but it really wasn't who I was. Still had to do my music, so I had a band after working at the post office, and I was still a train wreck. So I'm going to share this little video clip of me when I was a postmaster and nights playing in the blues clubs in primarily Lewiston, Maine. I remember one club that we played at, they had some kind of I don't know if they had a screen over the front separating the band from the people, because if the people didn't like you, they would throw stuff at the band. And I'm like, oh my God. But I didn't care. I was just still wild. And I thought, I dare you to throw a tomato at me. Nobody did. We got asked back to play a lot. We became a regular band at this bar, and it's a kind of a biker's bar. So we were playing blues stuff. Anyway, this clip is a cover tune by Stevie Winwood. Can't Find My Way Home. And that was me. You'll see I was just a train wreck and lost in the band and messed up and still living wrong. And whoa. Okay, so let's watch this and we'll close with a couple of comments.
You are the
that was Debra Cohen in the 90s, still looking for her way home. Oh, my goodness gracious. And so I'm just sharing a little bit of my past. I'd like to move on with my music and get to the heart of where I am today in 2022. I almost died from a drug overdose in the band days, DAZE. And that's the first time I cried out to a God that I didn't know. But I promised God if he let me live, I would serve him. And slowly but surely, I have transformed from a wild rock and roll chick to a dedicated singer to the God of Israel. And my music, this is why I've got this old stuff. As much as I'd like to park it and leave it behind, it was a big part of me for over a decade. So I just want people to know that God can transform anybody that is willing to be changed. For a while, as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't willing to be changed. I liked my lifestyle. I lived for the nighttime. But after this failed marriage in 1986, I started doing the job thing, thinking that would make me happy, and it did not. Moved to Nashville in 94 after leaving Maine, the beautiful state of Maine, and thought, I'm going to make it as a musician in Music City. I had an A&R interest, but by the time I got my act together, I was too old to get signed. And so I decided to go back to college and got a teaching degree. And I don't know what I was thinking. I thought, anyway, I left that nightmare in 2015, and now I'm doing what I love doing: music, teaching hula hoop yoga classes, learning how to sing nigun with Joey Weisenberg, belonging to a fabulous synagogue in Atlanta, Georgia, married to a wonderful man, Marty, and good things come to those who wait. Well, I mean, I waited a long time for a lot of things, and the best is yet to come. So I leave behind my rebellious past and let you know that if you're rebellious, God has a place for you. All of us are made for a special reason. There's something that you watching, you can do best to help mankind that nobody else can do. And so don't waste it and throw it away on selfishness, foolish pride, all those things I had. Find out what your gift is in your garden. Find those seeds, plant them in good ground, your soul. And in the right timing, no matter how long it takes, God is faithful and just. And he made you for a reason. Each one of us has a special gift or gifts to share with the world to make it a better place to live. And I encourage you to find out what your gifts are and to develop them and share them with the world and make this world a better place. Thank you for listening today. This is Debra Cohen. I hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel, DebraCohenMusic.com. And let's close with some products from my e-commerce store. Let's see if I can find some of them. Let's see, where are they? And thank you for listening. I hope you'll come next Sunday at 11:30 a.m. right here, Eastern Time, on DebraCohenMusic.bandcamp.com. Hallelujah.